Hello everybody, thank you for joining us today. And no, it's not what you think. David is not suddenly much more handsome and younger than he looked last time. I'm actually here replacing David. It's Chris here because David has caught the dreaded lurgy, COVID, so I'm stepping in for him today, and I will answer your questions. I'll do my very best to answer everything that's come in. I'm a long-time fan of the Tyros keyboard, as you know, being a Tyros Tipster. And well, let's get going. Thank you for joining us today, and please tell us where you're watching from. I've got my eye on the chat just here, so please let us know where you're watching from today. And we like to play a little bit of an informal who's watching furthest from the shop here in Banbury. So let us know where you're watching from and I'll give you a shout out. Oh, there's a David Martin from Irchester. Welcome, David. And a David Cooper at home. Hope you're feeling better, David. Martin from Pembrokeshire. Thanks for joining again, Martin. And Albert from the south of France. Albert Rowland. Thanks for joining us. And thank you everyone else who's watching for your support in coming and watching these live streams. Please do us a favor by pressing that thumbs up icon below the screen. It really helps an independent shop like us get seen on YouTube and spread the message of our service that we do here online, and let everyone know about us. So please press that thumbs up icon below the screen. Right, well, to get going, let's just do a little bit of playing to start with, shall we? So what have I got lined up for you today? Let's see if we can go to the top shop, please, Charlie. In my box of tricks today, I've got an Eagles song. Here we go. So if you could kill the mic, Charlie. Well, there you go. That was Desperado by the Eagles, which sounds really nice with the mod country ballad. That's what I use. In fact, if you could come in on the screen there, Charlie, nice and tight on the screen. The setup that I used was this style, or actually it was the Mod Country 2, but I altered it slightly, which is something I'm going to get into. I think the front camera's gone off, Charlie. It's something I'm going to get into. To show you how to change the voices and then save it as a custom style, because that was a question that somebody asked, somebody sent in prior to the beginning of the show. Let me say hello to some people. Yogeshi, Herdry, where are you watching from, Yogeshi? And Karen from Princess Ridgeborough. Hi Karen, thanks for joining again. I know you always tune in and give us your support, Karen, so thank you for that. Martin says, how can I save lyrics or text into the Tyros when I have it associated with the corresponding saved song in Music Finder? I understand, Martin, you have to do that in a registration file that has a .txt, a text file associated with it. I can't demonstrate that because I need to link my computer up to it, but we'll write a blog about it. Perhaps it will show you how to do it, and it'll mean you'll be able to see the lyrics on the screen. That's a good question. Rob Willis from Loughton watching live. Anyone in the area with a Tyros or Genos? Thanks for joining, Rob. Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, we have a big community of Tyros and Genos players spread all over the country, but we do have locally a very big collection of players as well. So yeah, there's plenty of Tyros players around. Let me get into some of the submitted questions, shall I? And the first one was from Tony Winder. So Tony, if you're watching, to answer your question that you sent in, which was, how do I load a Music Finder update? First of all, let me explain what Tony's talking about there. If we could go tight again on the screen, please, Charlie, and I'm going to open up the Music Finder section. And Music Finder section is this great big list of songs, which I hope you can see quite well, because it's worth knowing that down at the bottom of the screen here on the right, you see this big number that says 1851. Well, this is the number of songs that are built into the Music Finder, and basically what you do is you pick the song you want to play, like Georgia on My Mind there, and you set the key, and that will set the keyboard up exactly how you want to play it. It'll give you the right style, the right tempo, the right voices, everything will be correct for that song. But Tyroses, when they come straight out of the box, they don't actually come like that. They come with only 100 or so songs in there. But part of our service here at ePianos and the Tyros Tipsters is that before we deliver a Tyros keyboard to you, we load in nearly 2,000 records in there. We do this with Genoses as well, but it's just our way of giving you loads of extra goodies, because using Music Finder is just about the easiest way, I think, that you can choose a song and set up the keyboard very quickly to play. Now, at the minute, Tony, if you don't have very many songs in there, if you've only got, say, a couple of hundred in yours, and you'd like some more, they are actually available to download and install on your own Tyros from Yamaha's website. If you go to their Tyros 5 page, you can get them there and download them, transfer them onto your computer, make sure they're the right file type, and then put it on a USB and put it into your keyboard. But if you're watching this thinking that's a little bit too complicated for me to do and I don't want to use a computer, then I've got good news for you, because you're able to buy a preloaded memory stick from us here at ePianos that will have all of those extra songs on there, plus some goodies that we put on there. And all you have to do is, when it arrives in the post, is plug it into your own Tyros. go through a little process of pressing a few buttons, and you get about 1,800 songs built in. So if any of you are interested in doing that, then have a look on our website, look for the Tyros USBs, and there's a big selection of them in there, and we can just post one to you. And it's a really good quality memory stick as well. It's got a big capacity on there, so it's useful for all sorts of things as well. One of the things I'm going to show you later on. So Tony, I hope that's answered your question there. Just to go to another question here, which is similar, from George Robinson. Thank you, George, for sending in a question prior to the show. And he says, how do I download more files for my music finder? In fact, it's the same question, isn't it? Just do what I said there. You can get them from Yamaha's website, number one, download them yourself, or if you want a nice preloaded memory stick that's got them all on, that's basically plug and play into your own Tyros, then have a look. You buy them on our website, or just ring up the shop and we can show you. So let's see who else is joined us here. Linda Fisher, thank you, Linda, for joining in today and supporting us. Thank you to everybody who's joined us today. I hope you can hear us okay. Please let us know if my voice can be heard and the keyboard can be heard. And thank you for supporting us. If you really want to support us, then press that thumbs up below the video, because that really helps us get seen, get found on YouTube. Right, so I'm going to play another song now. Let me have a little look on my list of tricks. Yeah, so this one is a really nice song using the Easy Country that I've altered slightly. This is a Norah Jones song, but Tyros 5 does a great job of this. It's really simple to play. I'm not going to do any gymnastics with my hands at all. It's a nice country song. I'm sure you'll remember it. So if you could kill the mic, Charlie. Here we go. So there we go. That was Norah Jones' song called Don't Know Why, and using the Easy Country style on Yamaha Tyros 5 here, which sounds really nice. It's a lovely, easy song to play, and everything. The brushes on the drums are perfect for it. Hi Maria B, thanks for joining us today from over in Maryland in the United States. Good to have fans over in the US. Thanks for joining us and supporting us today. Just a reminder to press that thumbs up below the video, because that really helps us, a little independent shop like us, get seen. And please tell us where you're watching from. I've got one eye on the live chat on the video, so please say hello and tell me where you're watching from today, and tell me also what sort of Tyros have you got at home, because I'm playing a Tyros 5, and there of course is a Tyros 4, Tyros 3, Tyros 2 and the Tyros 1, and of course the Tyros 4 Special Edition, the black one. So comment in the live chat and tell me which Tyros you own, will you? Right, let's have a look at some of the pre-submitted questions that were sent in. David Bolmer, are you watching today, David? Because I've got an answer for your question, or I can help a little bit. Anyway, David Bolmer asks, have I got any hints on how to record and burn a CD? Yeah, the way to do that with your Tyros, Tyros 5 anyway, is to record onto the audio section, because to put something on a CD it has to be in an audio file type called a .wav file, and you can record straight onto the Tyros in that file type. So that's what you do. Then take that file and put it on a computer, and either the computer itself will have a CD burner built into it, or you can buy an external one that you just plug in. There's a particular type of CD that you have to buy, which I think, off the top of my head, is called a CDR or a CDRW. And these are empty ones, blank ones that you can burn things onto. So that's the process of doing that. Record as an audio file onto the keyboard, not on as a MIDI, but an audio. Transfer it onto a computer and then burn it onto the CD. So the other thing you want to think about though, David, that popped into my head was, what's the purpose of that audio CD? If it's to play in your car that's got a CD player, that's great, but if you're thinking of giving away a recording of your playing to friends or family, maybe think about how they listen to music now, because many people will just listen on YouTube or somewhere online like SoundCloud, where they just listen to the audio and they can turn their phone off and have it play in the background. You might want to consider doing that instead of burning a CD. CDs are a little bit old school now, really. So maybe think about that. So who's going to be receiving your song that you've recorded, and how might they like to have that, in what format do they want it in to listen to? So I hope that's helped, David. Jeffrey Wright asks, what is out there that's better on sound quality than my Tyros 4? Well, Jeffrey, thanks for your question, first of all, and thanks for joining in and supporting. I hope you're watching today. Really, Tyros 5 is, I think it was 2013 Tyros 5 came out, and there's been a few keyboards since then. Of course, the Yamaha Gynos was the successor to the Tyros 5, and that's still going strong. But the most recent keyboard that's out there that's like this is the Korg PA5X, which you may have seen some of our videos about recently. It's just been released a couple of weeks ago. So that's really worth a look, because it's a different manufacturer, it's Korg. So they go about things a slightly different way, but they address all the issues that you have as a keyboard player. They still do that, they still solve the problems, but they do it in a slightly different way, and in some ways it's really clever. And they've actually got one up on the Yamaha Gynos, because the PA5X is 5 years newer than the Yamaha Gynos. So the Korg things are a little bit more advanced, and the sounds are a bit more advanced. So that's worth a look. Jeffrey, have a look at Yamaha Gynos for one, and the Korg PA5X. But if you've got a Tyros 4, you might also, if you want to downsize a little bit, have a look at the Yamaha PSR SX range as well. PSR SX 900 and 700. They're like miniature versions of the Gynos. They use the same operating system. Have a look on ePianos TV, ePianos.co.uk/TV. That's where you can see all our video reviews of those particular keyboards. So, who's about that we can say hello to? David Cooper says, sounds lovely, Chris. Thank you, David. Very kind of you. Alba Roland, Tyros 4 Black Edition. Yeah, so the Black Edition, for those that don't know, of the Tyros 4 was a special anniversary. 19 years, I think. I mean, probably 20 years, actually. But Yamaha released a black chassis for the Tyros 4. It had some extra memory and extra sounds in it as well. But there's only about 180 or 200 made in the world. So they're quite rare. You don't see that many of them. And when you bought one of these, you got a certificate with it with a specific number on it. It's really cool. So they're quite rare, but quite valuable keyboards. So I'm pleased you got one of those, Albert. Right, so I'm going to move on to doing a little bit more playing for you. Let me see what I've got in my box of tricks. If we could go top down again, please, Charlie. Yeah, here's a good one for you. So if you can't see the screen on there, this is called House of the Rising Sun, and it's another one of these songs that Tyros 5 does really, really well. The introduction I've got set up on intro 2 here is perfect. It actually plays the first few chords in House of the Rising Sun, and it sounds great. And I'm going to keep going back to that every now and then to let it play through that sequence. So this is House of the Rising Sun. I can't remember the name of the band that played House of the Rising Sun. If anybody knows it, put it in the live comment section, because it's on the tip of my tongue. House of the Rising Sun by... who was it? Who knows who did that song? Right, if you can kill the mic, Charlie, we'll play this song. Well, there we go. That's pretty good, wasn't it? I really like that one. The Tyros 5 does a great job at setting up that song, and even some of the voices that it pre-selects for me are perfect, aren't they? It's got the Vox Continental style organ. Did you hear it? That sort of crazy vibrato. It's called 60s Combo. Come down on the screen, Charlie, and I'll show it to you. That's the one, 60s Combo. And it's just right for playing House of the Rising Sun. Now, who has thank you so much to Martin and Gareth Lewis, who said House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. Eric Burden, is that right? And the Animals. The Animals, that was it. House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. Brilliant. So yeah, if you've got a Tyros 5, that's on your music finder. And the style is called, let's come up on the screen again. The style is called 60s Rising Pop. That's the one to use, and you can tweak it to your heart's content, but the preset for it is actually very, very good. Now, just to go to some more questions that have been submitted in advance. And Fred Curtis sends in a question. Are you watching today, Fred, by the way? Fred says, once selected the voices for a new style, how to save them for future use of that style? Now, if I am interpreting that question right, Fred, what you mean is you've loaded a style. If we can come in on the screen again, Charlie. Presumably you've loaded a style, Fred, and you want to change the preset voices. That's what I think you mean by that. So that's what I'm going to show you. And I'm going to incorporate the next song that I've got, which is another Eagles song. I hope you don't mind, but I'm a bit of an Eagles fan, and this keyboard does Eagles songs really well. And I'll show you why I'm using that particular song, Fred, is because I think I've encountered the same problem that you did, in that I loaded the style, and the first two, can we have a wide shot over the top, Charlie? So I loaded the style, and then in the main variations, I love the sound in A and I love the sound in B. They work perfectly for this particular song. But when I get to variation C, I really don't like the voice. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll load it up so you can hear what I'm talking about. Here we are. So number 4, Lying Eyes by the Eagles. Voice number 1, I like. Voice number 2, I like. Voice number 3, I do not like. So I want to change that to something else so that when I select variation C, it gives me a different voice. The way you need to do that, Fred, is by making what we call a user style. Come back up to the screen, Charlie, and let's have a look here. So I've loaded up the style for it, pardon me, called Cali Country. Now I can't change that and keep it in the preset section. The keyboard will not let me. Presets are for presets. You're never going to change them, but you can use it as a template, duplicate it, and then save it in this section called User, which we get to by pressing the tab buttons just to the right. And you see how I'm flicking between preset and user just there. So first thing I do is, having loaded that style in, I need to come to the wide shot again, please, Charlie. So what I need to do next is, while I'm on variation C, the reason that it's changing my voice when I change variation is because I've got the button on called OTS Link that does that for me, which is probably one of the best ways to play this keyboard. So variation C is the one I want to change, and I want to change it to something like an electric piano. So over here on the right hand side, can you see how these buttons correspond? So I'm pressing here, but watch what happens over there. As I go between A, B, C, D, this is changing. A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 3 that I want to change. So when I've got 3 loaded, I'm going to go up to the electric piano section, choose an electric piano that I like. Now to save it, what I do is press this button here called Memory, that's right next to these buttons, and then press button 3, And on the screen now, if we can go tighten the screen, it says, hang on a minute, you've changed something, Chris. Do you definitely want to keep it? Because if you change to a different style at this point, it's going to delete it. So this is where I need to say yes, and then very usefully, it's not going to delete the original one, but very usefully it's going to take me into the user section, which is where I then need to press save. Down here at the bottom of the screen, and then it comes up with the name of the style already, but I'm just going to call this Cali Country 2. So we've got the original Cali Country in the preset section, my duplicate of it that I've tweaked to give me the voices I like, which only involves one change in this case. It's called Cali Country 2, press OK. And there it will be saved. Now in the style section, user. So not preset, user. So Cali 2, let's go wide again please. And what we'll now have is variation C. Instead of giving me that doo-dah, doo-dah, doo-dah sound, is now giving me a really cool electric piano sound, which works very, very well with this song, which I shall play for you. Just say a quick hello to some people. Who's with us today? Shiraim, thank you for joining. Shiraim, Ayminlat, thanks for the thumbs up. Please press the thumbs up below the video, everybody. That really helps us, just below the video down here. Press those thumbs up to give us your support. Casey Lim, hello from Malaysia. Wow, you might be winning the furthest from the shop competition today. Casey Lim, thank you for joining us. Thanks to everyone who's watching us at the minute for your support. We really appreciate it. We want to bring these fantastic instruments out to you and share all the great things that they have and the fact that we really enjoy playing with them. It's a privilege really to share all of that with you because it's just such fun. And if there's anything you want to see, by the way, what you do is go to the Tyros Tipsters homepage on our website, and then you can submit your question. So for next month's show, if there's something you want to learn about, send your question in advance and we can answer it for you. Okay, let's do a bit more playing. Why don't we play that song, Lion Eyes by the Eagles. So if you could kill the mic again for me, Charlie, I'll just have a sip of water and then play. Well, there you go. That was Lyin Eyes by the Eagles for you on Tyros 5. Just a really great song. Another one of those songs that's just perfect to play. I love that style of music, and it doesn't take a lot of gymnastics with the old fingers when you're playing that one. It's a very simple song to learn how to do, and a keyboard does so much for you. As well, you might have noticed me pressing the multi-pad buttons here. If we can have a wide shot, Charlie, these ones here. Did you hear while I was playing there that the sounds occasionally on top had this? Or there might have been a or even a. So that's just something that occasionally I was just tapping these buttons called multi-pads, and they too are set up and configured for that style, which you can alter if you want to, but they're actually built, they're preloaded to work well with that song. Those are called multi-pads. So if you're a Tyros player, then just try hitting those occasionally when you're playing. It adds a really nice effect. Okay, let's have a look. So we held a poll and it said, which Tyros do you have? And the answers are in. From 16 votes, 62% of you have the Tyros 5 that I'm playing here, and we've got some Tyros 4 players, second most owned, and Tyros 1s and 2s, and the Tyros 3 are there as well. So if you don't own a Tyros 5, then have a look on our website. You can actually trade in your Tyros and upgrade to a better model. And if you own a Tyros 5 or any of the Tyroses, go to the Tyros Tipsters homepage, which I think the link was put in the chat just a moment ago, because we have a very special portal on there, a form where you as viewers of this stream can go to, and you can put in what Tyros you have, and you'll get a price through to upgrade to a Genos keyboard, because we do very, very good trade-in deals. So you can get yourself up to the latest keyboard if you like, and get a very special price through as a viewer of this stream. Right, so Jovan, hi Jovan, thank you for joining us today. Let's see, and Karen Lauren asks, are you going to do a live show for an SX900 keyboard next time? We do plan on doing live shows soon, Karen, for the Yamaha Genos keyboard and the SX keyboards as well, because they have a common operating system. So we are going to include all of them in some live streams. We've been testing out our equipment and what have you, and making sure it all works fine. And yes is the answer, we will be doing that. So stay tuned, and if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, then do that, press below to subscribe, and also go to our website and join the newsletter that we send out. It's free to get. We send out a newsletter email every Saturday. It has our latest videos in it and a bit of a roundup of what we've been doing, the roundup of the latest keyboard news and the gossip about all the latest keyboard releases that are coming up, may or may not be coming up. So get signed up to that as well. In fact, maybe someone could type in the link. It's ePianos.co.uk/newsletter. It's where you can go and sign up to that. So what else do we have in our questions? Brian Altman, I hope you're watching today, Brian. Thanks for sending in a question in advance. Why can't we do gender bender on the Tyros 1 to 5? Now, what I think you mean by that, Brian, is the vocal harmony that when you're singing changes your voice from sounding like its normal voice. If you're a male, it will turn it into a female voice, and if you're female, have this vocal harmony on and it'll change it to sound like a male. You can do this, Brian, you can do this on here. If you've got a microphone plugged into your Tyros 5 keyboard, you just need to choose the right type of harmony, and I'm going to show you how to do that. If we can have a wide shot, please, Charlie. In fact, we can't quite see it, but those of you that use the vocal harmony know that the button is just up here on the top left hand side. But look at the screen. Let's go tight in on the screen, Charlie. And when I press the vocal harmony type select button, we get this, all our vocal harmonies. So the standard ones are ones that will just give you a duet to your singing voice when you've got it turned on. It's quite effective. There's all sorts of different, there's a quartet and a trio as well. It's very clever. But if we go to some of the latter pages here, page 3, I think, Brian, it's on There it is, page 4, Brian, of your vocal harmony type select. You'll see this one here. It's not called Gender Bender, it's called Bob to Mary or Mary to Bob. So Bob to Mary is the one where when you're singing as a male singer, the keyboard will take your voice, process it within the keyboard and send out of the speakers a female version of your voice. First time you use it, it'll make you laugh, but it's actually really good. So as a male, you could sit there and sing a female ballad, and it sounds really good while you're singing it. You know, onlookers might be a little bit surprised, but you could do the opposite as well. If you're a female singer, you can choose Mary to Bob, and it makes you sound like Barry White. So yes, it can be done, Brian. To answer your question, it can be done. Another question that was submitted in advance from Keith Martin. Thank you, Keith, for sending in your question. And he asks, how do you transfer recordings from the hard drive of a Tyros 5 to a USB memory stick from the hard drive of the keyboard itself? I'm going to show you that now, for I have in my hands one of these super duper high quality, very valuable Tyros Tipsters, ePianos memory sticks, which is underneath the label just a standard USB memory stick. So this will work almost no matter what type of memory stick you've got. And let me show you how to do it. So Keith, your question was songs from the hard drive onto the memory stick. So the first thing is to find the song section, and I'm going to assume that you're talking about a audio section, an audio song. So what we do is if we go a MIDI song. So on the top left here, if we go to the new song section and I press the corresponding button here, do you notice now that over on the top we have preset, user and HD1, which stands for hard drive 1. So that's showing us the location of all of our songs, and on the hard drive there is a song in here which I will use as a target to transfer to this memory stick. Okay, now I'm going to plug this memory stick in, and keep on this shot here, Charlie, keep on this tight shot, because watch at the top right, just here, when I push this stick in. The stick is going in now. It says device is connected. Watch at the top right. An extra tab has appeared, and this one is called USB 1, and on here we have at the minute it shows that it's empty because I don't have any songs on my memory stick at the moment. What I want to do is transfer the one from the hard drive, this is what Keith is asking me, and transfer it to USB stick so I can take my USB stick off, go and plug it into a computer and email it to whoever I want to, or indeed upload it to YouTube or to wherever for the general public to listen to it. So here's how we do it. Go to hard drive 1, go to the bottom of the screen where it says menu 1, and go, once I press menu 1, you'll notice that it toggles between menu 1, menu 2, menu 1, menu 2. I want menu 2, and then I'm going to go to this one here that says copy, press that, and it says to me select the files or folders to be copied to the clipboard. So basically this means select the files that you want to duplicate and move somewhere else. I now select new song. It's not going to delete it, we're going to duplicate it, so it's going to remain on the hard drive as well. Selected it and it's gone all black here. Press OK at the bottom. Now it's waiting for me to tell it where I want that duplicated song to go. And it's now that I tab back over to the USB, and this button has lit up that says paste. And when I press that, bing, there it goes. So we've now got the song called New Song duplicated. It's both in hard drive and it's in USB 1. So at this stage, I can take the USB stick out, and on this memory stick now we have a copy of my song, which you can then put in your computer and play, and you can email to somebody or put it into a software or whatever you want to do with it. So Keith, I hope that one has helped and that's answered your question there. Okay, well, who's with us today then? Do say hello and tell us where you're watching from today, because we always like to know where people are watching from. Jovan, he says, okay, I forgot to ask, will you compare the PA5X by Korg to some other keyboard such as the Genos? I think it will be very useful. The answer is yes, we are going to do that. In fact, I look forward to getting the new Korg PA5X next to a Genos and playing them together and seeing what you think of the sound. We might even do what we've done before, which is a blind test where we make the screen go blank and we play two. We play once on the Genos, once on the PA5X, and then you choose which one you prefer, and then it's revealed which one was shown to you. So it's a bit of a game, but it's kind of a good way to get a neutral impression of which one you prefer the sound of. Let's see what else we got. So we're coming up to the end of the stream, and I still have, I think, some songs to play for you. Yeah, here we go. So this one is an absolute classic, and I can remember this song. This song has a real meaning to me because it was one of the first songs I had on any type of record, and it was on an old, not this old, but it happened to be on an old reel-to-reel music player that one of my parents, because they were antique dealers, had brought back from an antique show or auction or something, and it had this song on there, and I used to play it on repeat because it seemed really to cut through to something within me. And I was only young, but it was something about the sound of Louis Armstrong's voice and the melody and the whole orchestral arrangement which really was quite special, and I've always loved playing it. And Tyros 5 does a fantastic job on What a Wonderful World. The backing is just like the classic Louis Armstrong arrangement. So I'm going to stop yabbering on and play that one. So if you could kill the mic, Charlie, we shall play that. Well, there you go. There you go. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. And again, Yamaha Tyros 5. The the style for that, called 12/8 Ballad, is really very good. This one here. And the preset settings for it are perfect. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Right, so I do have, I will say hello to a few people. Hi Martin, please could you expand on the pitch correct in the vocal harmony effects section? Is this a simple auto-tune perhaps? No Martin, it isn't that. Well, it kind of is. It's a vocoder which will allow you to sing into a microphone and sing any note that you like, but you correct the pitch by playing a melody with your right hand. So yeah, it does do that. I don't have a microphone set up for you, so I can't demonstrate it, but no, it doesn't quite correct your pitch without you doing anything. You have to play the right melody and it will correct your voice. But yeah, there's a way to do it. There is a way to do it in there. Okay, so we're coming towards the end, and I want to say thank you again to everybody that's joined us today. If you haven't done it already, please press the thumbs up below the video, because that really helps us get seen on YouTube. This show has been called Tyros Tipsters Back to Basics, and it's all about answering your questions. If you want to submit a question for the next episode, which will be in about 4 weeks' time, then go to the Tyros Tipsters Back to Basics homepage and you can submit your question for next time. Also, sign up for our newsletter. You can go onto our website now and watch all of our videos for free, ePianos.co.uk/TV. And yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye. Bye-bye XWJ Music, bye-bye Alan Matt, I'm in Lat. Bye-bye to everybody. I'm going to play a little bit and then we're going to fade out, but thanks for joining in. I've been Chris, filling in for David today, who's got COVID. Hope you're feeling better, David, watching at home. Do send your best wishes to David through the live chat, because he's watching and he will receive your messages. So let me just set this up and then I'll play and we'll finish. I'm going to play a bit of a movie soundtrack for you. Jurassic Park, which you might recognise, by the great John Williams, the soundtrack that he did for so many films, like Indiana Jones and a gazillion other films. That John Williams just has this classic orchestral sound for particularly Steven Spielberg movies. E.T. was another one, wasn't it? And Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This one is Jurassic Park, and I'm going to start play. I won't play the complete song, I'm just going to play it a little bit and we'll fade out after 30 seconds or so. So thanks everybody, thanks Elber, see you next time, bye bye.